Hello, everyone. My name is Scott Popular, event producer, game designer. Originally Atlanta native, but now I'm Tokyo based, and I
Okay.
produce video games and produce actual social gaming events. Way back in the day, I used to be a esports player. Actually, before the term even got coined, esports, I was just playing in arcades for money straight up.
Okay.
And when COVID hit, I had to make a huge transition, just like a lot of other people. Esports dried up, like Sahara Desert dried up because
Hmm.
we couldn't meet up in physical form. And online was there, but it really wasn't like the structure wasn't really there until
Mm-hmm.
till we started like really playing games and banging out during COVID. Definitely not the way it is now. But during that time, it was just like, okay, so I've spent a lot of time in the video game industry post market. Let me
Mm-hmm.
see if I can try to see if I can make a game. And luckily for me, I had a lot of good friends who were already in the industry, and they were just like, if you play the games as well as you do, maybe you can make one as well. So I just got out there and I was like, okay, what kind of game would I like to make? I've always been a big fan of like just like old NES titles
Okay.
because I realized that the limitations on the graphics made the designers and the whole entire team go overtime on making the games fun.
Mm.
Back in the day, it was just like your game got to be fun. This
Yeah.
this is your graphic ceiling, but your
Yeah.
game needs to be fun. And so I was like, all right, cool. Looked at a bunch of games and then I kind of settled on one that was like really near and dear to me. It was called Kage no Densetsu, which in English translates to The Legend of Kage, which is the legend of a shadow, which is it's a
Okay.
ninja game. So I
Okay.
wanted to take that and put a little spin on it. And because, after working with people in the video game industry, I noticed that a lot of games you just kill everything, especially in a ninja game. You walk in, you see an
Yeah.
enemy, and you cut the head off. You're like with every kind of ninja power that you got, you just abusing it. So I was like, man, how about we make it a love ninja platform? And this premise is going to be super simple: hit them with some love and take them to the club.
Hmm.
And so I was like, all
Okay.
right, cool. I found my homeboy Roger, and it was originally just me and him on the design team. And I was like, yo, I want to make a game, but I don't know how to do this. And he was just like, well, look, I can kind of help you because I'm kind of a hacker. And he went through my computer and he saw that I was creating these little iron beads characters like this one right here. And I was doing it for schools in Japan because I was an English teacher, but I was also the art teacher as well. And I
Okay.
can't draw to save my life. Don't even ask me. This is horrible. And but they were like, well, there's got to be some kind of medium because all the teachers have to do something. And I was just like, all right,
Hmm.
cool. I was like, what's the cleanest thing I can do? Because I don't like getting messy. That's why I can't draw. And so they were like, okay, well, we have these little metal these perler beads, which is basically wax, and then you just
Okay.
got to put the dots together, and then you make a picture. So we're making
Hmm.
flowers and trees and stuff like that. And so I'm in a class with like 100 at a time. It could be anywhere between 40 to 100 Japanese kids,
Hmm. Okay.
and they're all like little kids too. They were like, okay, cool. You have to don't because you're the only adult in the class. You have to supervise them and make sure that they don't burn themselves. So I became the Iron Master, and so these kids kept coming to me with like different pictures and different items, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. That's not a flower, but bless your heart. So I had to like basically redo all their work. Little did I know during that time of me redoing their work and just saying like, okay, well, hey, maybe if you put this dot over here, maybe you do this over here, I was actually teaching myself to get better.
Yeah.
And I got really good at it to the point where I would just document every figure, everything that they were making. And I didn't know that, but at that time, what I was creating was what's called like an asset library.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
basically, I'd see their designs and then I'd like either make it better or just add on to it. And then one
Hmm.
day we were talking about ninjas in the class, and
Yeah.
I was just like, what? I was like, all right, so everybody's gonna make a ninja, but you can't like these ninjas got to be nice ninjas. They can't have like traditional weapons, like 'cause I can't let you leave the class and you talking about killing people. So
Yeah.
we were like,
Yeah.
well, my ninja makes blueberries and my ninja makes cupcakes stuff like that. And I was like, cool, man. And I was like, you know what? Scott said, what about your ninja? I was like, my ninja got a gold chain. It came out like water. Like, I don't know, like, I didn't even think about it. I was like, my ninja got a gold chain. They were like, a gold chain? I was like, yeah. They were like, it's a weapon. Like, no, he wear it. And then I made the character, and they were just like, that's so cool. Actually, it was this one. This is the first one I made.
Okay.
And then
Gotcha.
my computer breaks. I give it to my hacker friend and he fixes it. But as a hacker, of course, he went through my computer and then he saw this whole library of characters I made. And he was just like, yo, we can make a game because you got all the art assets. We just got to put it together. So then we started
Mhm.
making a story about Ninja Man well, right now, the new title is Ninja Man and the Six Gold Chains, which is
Okay.
it's a love story to Atlanta and Tokyo. I think I've spent about 50% of my life in both cities now where it's gone and just it's just an homage to like the people I met throughout my life and the one thing that I needed more than anything was I just needed a dependable ninja to be to help me, produce these events and
Mhm.
produce these events and the games.
Yeah.
And so you will see in the cutscenes in the games now, and a lot of people always ask me, they were like, you had a budget? You had a film budget? I was because in the game you'll see cinematics. Well, you'll
Right.
see Ninja Man actually in the real world, like going to parties and DJing at parties and like just being there. And they were like,
Mhm.
you had budget for this? I was like, no, that's not that case. These are actual real events that I throw in Tokyo and in like some places in America as well, where the character is there.
Mhm.
So to be
Mhm.
honest, the Iron Beads came first, then the events, then the
Mhm.
games
Gotcha.
because
Yeah.
in the process of trying to like let's just be super honest, the process of trying to get funding for money is not easy. I mean, get
Yeah.
funding for games is not easy, and it's one topic that a lot of people don't talk about, but I feel like we need to talk about it a lot more. Like it's great,
Mhm.
kumbaya, like you got this story and you want to make this game, but how are you gonna make this game?
Yeah.
And so it's been a lovely journey. Me and Roger first started off, and he was like the caveat was if I supply the art and he does the programming, then we would have to do the music together. So
Mhm.
we made a group, and so all the music at this moment is made by a group called Ninjas in Tokyo, which is me and Roger.
Gotcha. Okay.
And in the video, you'll see us in the party, but you'll see Ninja Man in the background. He's DJing, but the thing is,
Mhm.
nobody knows who Ninja Man is, and it's a feel good project. Just knowing that like nobody will ever die because it's a ninja with a gold chain.
How did you get to Tokyo from Atlanta to Tokyo? That's a big jump, no matter how you kind of slice that. I'm in the process of trying to do similar things, not necessarily Tokyo, but I am trying to get to that side of the world. So that's
Ah,
definitely, I'm from Nashville, real
okay.
familiar
Oh,
with Atlanta, obviously. So, I mean, that's right down, that's only a
yeah,
couple
we
hours.
cousins.
So
We
yeah, so that's
cousins.
right down the street. And I'm a Falcons fan, so I'm pretty familiar with Atlanta to know like, it's a lot going on,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But it's kind of
yeah,
like Nashville too. Nashville's sort of growing to the point to where it's like it's different. I'm ready to get up out of here. I've always wanted to visit Tokyo, but
yeah.
like what's moved you there?
So first and foremost was definitely games was definitely the motivation. But
Mhm.
me being an actual player, so like back in the day, this is before there was a ranking system, but I know that I was like damn near top three Donkey Kong players since 64.
Okay.
It's way early 90s in arcades. And then
Mhm.
we started doing big esports tournaments. It used to be called Final Round in Atlanta.
Mhm.
And we did that for a good number of years. COVID actually put the kill on that. But during that time, I met a lot of Japanese players. I met a lot of people from all over the world who just came in to play Tekken because
Mhm. Yeah.
Atlanta still is a Tekken hub.
Yeah.
And so I met a lot of my international friends just playing different games. And then one day, just I had a friend and she was just like, "Hey, you want to come to Japan?" And I was just like, "All right, cool." So I called up a couple of my friends who I knew in Japan. I was like, "Yo, I'm coming out." And they were like, "Word?" I was like, "Yeah." So I had to switch up games at that time. I think I had to play Street Fighter EX and the three. And so I was playing in a couple like just these weren't even tournaments. These just going to game centers and just hanging out and being cool. And when
Mhm.
I got there, it was a huge leap for me because that was the first time for me to even get on a plane
Okay. Yeah.
from Atlanta. Like I had to get a passport. I was like, what? And
Mhm.
so I
Yeah.
got out there and it just kind of opened my eyes. I was like, yo, man, this is a completely different world. And growing up in Atlanta, Decatur. I will say this to most people. First and foremost, you definitely need to come out, but this is the one places where, like in a world where, as an African American man, you don't have to play defense. And once you experience that, it's kind of hard to go back to regular life. Let's be super honest. It's like so. I was just like,
I mean,
maybe
that's sort of part of it, ain't it? How different life is. Looking at different places and stuff, and people just like when you go to these other countries and stuff, you don't realize like how fast you live in the States. Like
right.
it's we
Yes.
always just like going. We going. Whereas like they like you can go somewhere else and like it's gonna tick you off how slow everybody moving. Cause like people are not really just they not on the go like that. You know what I'm saying? People are kind of easing into their day. People are more conscious about stuff in other places. I've lived in Nashville my whole life, so I have been to different places and I've been able to see. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's where I need to be at. It's so much like so many experiences and stuff that you just not gonna get in your little circle of the world. You know what I mean? I'm a '90s kid too. We never really had like a game like sort of hub. Like we didn't really have that. Like we had Madden tournaments and we had all these
Right.
different stuff, but like we didn't have like no core games like community
Yeah.
to where like we had like an arcade, but like that arcade is used for like as a strip mall. Places like Tokyo, obviously, that's up there. You know what I'm saying, with the anime
Yeah.
and all of that different stuff. And so we just see like a sliver of that here back at the crib. What was that transition like when you got there and like obviously the language barrier and all of that stuff? You obviously had to learn that and kind of experience that too. So like, what was that like?
That transition was actually very huge, and it's remarkable that you said that. Like in America, we don't like. Let's be honest. Like in the Southeast, like most of our malls are kind of governed by the whole Simon Corporation, the Simon malls.
Yeah.
Even in the
Mm-hmm.
Southeast, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And like they put in
Yeah.
that whole that ordinance saying like youth cannot loiter at the malls. Like I remember when Mortal Kombat came out, and people
Yeah.
got shot and killed. That was in Atlanta. Like, and they were like, they put their foot down on that. They were like, okay, we can't have these youths. Like, these games are
Mm-hmm.
bringing problems, which is not true at all. But,
Right.
but this is how they spun it to get what they wanted out of it. But when I got to Japan, I saw that like, okay, there's game centers, arcades everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like their own little cliques. But the difference is the culture. Now, I'm gonna be dead honest with you. Our stuff, even though our little mom and pops, even if you go to like Rico's house and go play Madden, our events were fun. And that's
Yeah.
what they don't have. And they still haven't really gotten the social gaming aspect of it in Japan. Because in
Mm.
Japan, you don't go to somebody's house. You go to the game center and you get it done there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then if y'all become, buddy buddy, then you can go back to the house. But the problem is if you go back to the house, because Japan is still very like condensed, especially in Tokyo, it's super condensed, like you can't be loud. You can't
Yeah. So you
like
can't have
like
like a whole bunch going on like that, pretty
yeah,
much.
yes. So you had to like so for me that was like, okay, so there's an opening in the market. So that means I can go to like a dive bar and I can go to a club and say, hey, your business is crap right now. I can guarantee you that I can bring in 30 to 50 people
Yeah.
here on a night. But the caveat is you gotta let me bring in all these TVs, and we're gonna play Street Fighter. Now, for your
Mm-hmm.
average bartender, it doesn't matter if it's an American or Japanese or wherever. If they're not a gamer, they don't understand it. That's still to this day. But yes, people will come out their house to come play some games with some other people that they don't know,
That's
and they don't
interesting.
even have to. They don't even have to speak the same language.
Mm-hmm.
They just, as long as they can get on them sticks and do some damage,
Yeah.
they'll
Yeah.
find a common bond.
You don't need to know the language to know how to play Street Fighter. If you know how to kick and you know how to punch, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like you know the motion. So I mean, yeah, you don't need all that.
And so, the joys and the perils are the same, man. Like you getting your ass kicked in English is the same as you getting your ass kicked in Japanese. There's gonna be chuckles and laughs all around. So that's that's
Yeah.
that's always been a great bonding point. I've seen like some of the hoodest cats from the ATL get buddy buddy with like these are corporate Japanese dudes.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
end up going to the strip club together. They're the best of friends, the best. And just to see like a cultural bonding. Like I have pictures from the '90s of like Tekken heads and like cat. They buddy buddy,
Yeah.
and you would think like, how did this happen? Because they can't
Yeah.
speak English. So how did this? How did this? Like they taking pictures like they family. because of games.
So with the game and you making the game and stuff like that, was like when you were younger and obviously, you were playing the tournaments and stuff, game development, like how did you sort of square that? Because even though, I get you was a player and all of that stuff, most people don't go to game development. You might have some little small skills here and there, but I mean, in order to be a good esports player, I mean, you playing the game, you know what I mean? Like you playing for hours at a time and you play, that's your job. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not like you just kind of, I get to play for a couple hours and then I got all this other time just to do stuff. You know what I mean? So like, how did you sort of square that to like kind of get there? Was it just COVID just shut everything down and it was like, well, I ain't got nothing else to do, I might as well? Or was it like, I was going to get there eventually. Eventually, I knew I wanted to make a game. I want to kind of get to the point where I can make one and then play my own game and have that same sort of fun. Like, what was sort of your thought process with that?
Nah, COVID basically hit me with the unblockable. Like there was nothing. It was like, oh no, you stuck in this fame trap. There's nothing you can do about this. What are you gonna do? Like you can't do any more esports events. And here's the opportunity. Do you know how to do it? No. But either you do it or you drown. So it was just like, all right, cool. Cause like I couldn't teach English, couldn't do esports. I'm in Japan. Like, all right, cool. Let me just do it. And so the first game we made was super janky, but you did it. Small wins. What I'm learning now is it's like small wins is just so important. And so like, even though like the first game we made was honestly, I like it, but most of my friends were like, this is horrible. But I was like, well, y'all make games.
Game shows and stuff. What are the game shows like? I'm sure you've been to a few or kind of know people who have been. Like, what's sort of the vibe, emotion out there?
I feel like most of the game shows, well, it depends on the game shows that you go to. And I recently just went to GDC for the first time, and I feel like that's probably one of the most beneficial events that I've been to that was a little bit more the business centric of it all. And I'm glad I went to it because like this has kind of solidified my whole idea of like, okay, cool. We really need to think about how are we going to finance the actual production of the game. This is something that we don't talk about. You want to stay really holistic, like, okay, we're the designer, this is our creative process, and we're going to make this beautiful thing. That's great. But when marketing comes and talks to you, all that sunshine, cookies, and bubbles don't mean a damn thing. They gonna want to know two things. When is this coming out? And can you really do it?
Yeah.
And if you can answer like those two questions in a tangible format, then they'll be like, all right, maybe we'll give you some money. It ain't even a yes. It's all right, maybe we'll give you some money.
Yeah, we'll think about it. Yeah,
we'll think about it. Like, and that's just, I'm not saying this to discourage anybody. I'm just saying this is like, let me tell you what they told me. But also be aware of your own, like your personal advantages. Coming from the Southeast, and one thing that we kind of overlook is that coming from the Southeast, especially musical cities like Nashville and Atlanta, we often overlook our advantages that we have sonically in the music industry.
Yeah.
90% of games need music.
Yeah.
And guess what we do well in the Southeast? We make bangers.
Right.
And our production process is a definite pipeline that doesn't kind of exist in the game industry, but I've only seen it like,
you ain't hearing no Migos in those songs. You're not hearing that in like your indies. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting that bounce and you playing a game that might be, can you just imagine a horror game with like some Southern bass bumping in the background? Like,
I'm not calling anybody out, but I know it happens. But what I'm saying is these people, these engineers, just number one, soundboard engineers that work in studios in the Southeast, they could easily get jobs in the game industry because of their skill sets. They'd be like, okay, cool. You need a score for this? Like, they could just sit in there and like eyeball the wavelengths and be like, okay, that's wrong. Like, let me just fix this real quick, because they're sitting there trying to create
thinking
bangers.
about it too. That would be the easiest way, because I've always been told how hard it is to get game credits, like getting on a game. That's probably the easiest way to get on the game is doing the music. I mean, because you could take one song and have that go on multiple games, and you know what I'm saying, different things like that.
It doesn't have to even be a whole song. It could just be just clinks,
little snippets,
footsteps, sound, like they need sounds for like just item selects.
Yeah.
Just and you would be like, yeah, like we pay money for that, because it's in the
Mm-hmm.
budget.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, cool. Like
Yeah, that's
there's
cool.
so
I hadn't
many
really thought
there's
about it like that.
yeah. There are other like going to GDC opened my mind. I'm like, oh, there's other jobs that need to be
Mm-hmm.
fulfilled other than just like game. Because when we think about like the game industry, and okay, I want to make games. So now you're thinking about a designer and programmer and art, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the three things that most people think about, right? You can be a writer, you can be a community manager. We touched very slightly the whole music side of it, which is
Yeah.
huge. There's so much. There's Q&A. There's testing. Testing is probably the easiest way to get in, but it's a grind. Like
Mm-hmm.
African Americans and people in the Southeast, we need to exploit our musical talents so much more because they need it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
like
for sure.
like when you got homies who be like, yo man, I got a gold album, or I got friends who got platinum albums, and I'm like, man, you could just translate this over here.
Yeah.
A lot of
That's
people
it.
don't know.
That's
David
extra sync.
Banner,
That's sync money. Yeah.
yeah, David Banner. I don't know why David Banner don't talk about it, but I'm pretty sure he got credited for Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and also Ninth Wonder. Ninth Wonder did all the NBA 2K things. These are checks that ain't gonna stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
was like,
For
man,
sure.
if you got a music background, think about making some game music
Yeah.
or just something.
Yeah.
You gonna make
That's what's
music
up.
anyway, right? You might as well
Yeah,
put it
right,
in
right,
there.
right,
So
right.
it's crazy just to see like, okay, this is where we can get in. I'm gonna be honest, like just me being able to tell a story about a ninja from Atlanta with a gold chain. It's kind of silly until it actually happened,
Yeah.
but it's like, okay, cool. Now I got a chance to tell this story,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna damn sure make full use of the opportunity to put us in the forefront because we got to
Mm-hmm.
control the narratives. We got to control the narratives as much as we possibly can. Not better, but as much as we possibly can. Because to be honest, there's not enough of us. Like
Yeah.
there's only when you think about the actual let me give you this number first. When you think about the actual player base, like for people who play video games, African American community, we up in the high most African American people that talking about 75% of us play games. That's guys and girls
Mm-hmm.
at this moment. But when you think about our percentages of the actual workforce to create the games, that's less than 5%. And that 5% is not just black people. That's anybody brown.
Yeah.
Anybody. So we got to change this. And
Mm-hmm.
one way we can go about changing that is like if we're making projects, we got to make sure that we see us. Because that's the easiest way to get people motivated to do something. It's like, okay, if he did it, I know I can do it.
Yeah.
Is Ninja Man and the Six Gold Chain going to be the blow up? I don't know. Maybe. Hope so. But what I do know is that it's gonna definitely inspire somebody else to do it. Because
Yeah.
I know Scott Dumbass can do this. I know I can do this.
I mean, obviously you're gonna push the game, working on this. Like you got any thoughts of like a sequel? Is that too far down the line? Like what's sort of like your thought process of like this game and sort of what's next for you kind of, here in the nearest future?
I would love for there to be a sequel to Ninja Man and Six Gold Chains, but to be honest, like I'm kind of backspinning. I'm learning as I go. Let's say that if Ninja Man and Six Gold Chains like blew up, what I would do was I would go about making smaller games with this character. And the reason I want to like because I realize that speed and consistency are really important in the market. Like to be able to produce like titles that everybody can play. They're very kind of like a kind of schedule that they know is going to come out. Like, if I could had a time machine, I could jump in right now and go back to when I started doing that. I'd be like, hell no, don't do that. Oh, don't make this big ass game. Make smaller games that you
Yeah.
can get people on and projects that you can just churn out like butter and get
Mm-hmm.
and strengthen your brand and strengthen your skill set as you go along.
Mm-hmm.
Avoid as many train wrecks as possible.
Yeah,
So,
for
but
sure.
yes, but if it pops off, then I'm gonna go into just strengthening the brand of Little Baby Ninja Man, and just working a little bit. Like I'm not saying that there won't be a sequel,
Mm-hmm.
but let me work on something that I know I can do much quicker,
Right,
and the
right.
turnaround will be a lot
A lot
quicker as
faster,
well.
yeah.
And this is it's more marketable, if you will, because like the thing is with the art, before I got any funding to make the first Ninja Man, which came from Humble Games, and I had to
Mm-hmm.
submit to them for a grant. Before I got any funding, I received, I'm gonna just be honest with you, over 1,000 notes. Over 1,000. That's me making a deck, sending it out, attaching the game to it, having a meeting. I've had people straight up tell me like, "Hey man, I love the concept, but the black ninja, like I don't think our company, this doesn't fit our company profile." Fair enough. A no is a no, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they told me why, and I was like, all right, cool. So after like 1,000 no's, I want to say, let me do what I know I can do. Is like I can run social gaming events. So I did a social gaming event in an art gallery in Tokyo.
Okay. Yeah.
So I bought out the space. I put my art up on the wall, and then in the corner in the same room, I put the game. So people came in to look at the art, and then they were like, "Hey, hold on, there's a video game that goes with all the art." And I was like, "Yeah." I started getting accolades from the art world.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Take
what's up.
those stamps, those achievements, put that into the new deck and say like, okay, I know that the video game world's not feeling it, but all these
Mm-hmm.
avant-garde art people like this, and they're walking around with like Ninja Man little figures on Prada bags.
Yeah.
So they're this has legs.
To get your
Fine.
Ninja Man Labubu.
Yeah, Ninja Man. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
That's what hey, trust me, me too. Me too. I ain't got none, but I said, boy, wait till I start gathering. I said, you see me outside with the Labubu on the hip, you already know we doing all right. You know what I mean? Let people know how they can find the game, how they can find you, basically just kind of plug yourself and let people know how they can find everything.
I got to give a shout outs to Humble Games, Ben Murphy, super good homeboy from Atlanta who helped me out. Roger, everybody at Dinosaur Studios, Dinosaur Entertainment is Jesse Sosa. Offshoot for
Okay.
Gearbox, everybody in Tokyo, definitely everybody in Southeast. That's Atlanta, Nashville. Y'all know what it is. We keeping it in the Beast Coast, South Coast slums. And then yeah, if you're looking for me, at Scott Popular on everything, please holler at me on Discord because that's the easiest way to find me. Ninjas in Tokyo. And if you want to, you can play Ninja Man and the Six Gold Chains right now for free. We are taking donations. That's at itch.io.
Okay.
Just look for at Scott Popular, all one word. You'll find me on some social media platform. And besides that, thank you so very much for having me on the show. And man, I look forward to tuning into more of you guys' content. And yeah, thank you for letting me be here. And yeah, hit them with some
Not a
love and take
problem,
them to the club.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Whatever assistance you need coming out here, just let us know, man. Like we got enough hubs. So I do like a lot of third key managing for it's called Soul Food House. It's like the
Okay.
only soul food restaurant in Tokyo. I call it like the Black Hub. It's like we've entertained Kendrick Lamar, Bruno Mars, Floyd Mayweather, which is man. He brought the Atlanta out. He brought the goon out in me for 2 seconds. I was just like, I ain't never seen that many. I ain't seen that many diamonds on a human. All right, yeah, but it's good to see black people come to Japan, and it's like okay, it's like all right, you gonna probably want to come back. It has one of them effects like, yo, this is how they doing it out here. Okay, all
Yeah.
right, let me see if I can come back out here and just do this one more time. Like, I feel like one trip is not enough. One trip is just like it's an information overload, and then you gotta come
Yeah,
back and do it
yeah.
again. You're like, all right, cool, I got it.